Good morning and welcome down here to Kerava, just north of Vantaa, north of Helsinki, in the beautiful country of Finland, for the coolest cricket tournament on earth, the Nordic T20. You join us for the opening game between Norway and Denmark. We had the toss just before. I can tell you that Norway have strapped the pads on and getting ready to come out to bat, while Denmark will be bowling. Got to see them warming up in the nets just before. No out-and-out pace in the Danish attack, but a very handy pack of medium paces with a couple of decent spinners thrown in. The umpires just checking some final measurements here on the ground, taking some time to make sure that everything is correct. We had a very heavy fog here last night after a number of wily thunderstorms yesterday, but this outfield here at Kerava can take it. Very good drainage here at the ground. And the groundsman, Stevie, he spent quite a bit of time on the mower this morning, making sure that the outfield is prim, proper, dry and ready to go. There's a little bit of moisture just under the surface, but it's a nice clean cut. The grass is very even, and we should be in for a cracker to open this tournament here at the Nordic T20. My name, Jez Brown, by the way. If you want to give me some feedback on my pronunciation of some of the players' names, you can do that on Twitter, or whatever Elon calls it now, Jez_Brown. I haven't been using it too much of late, in all honesty. It's mostly just me complaining about airlines, but if you'd like to be involved and message me, a shout out to any of the players, and show your support for the teams, I'm more than happy to do that. Just another little delay here as the field is put into place. Only two outside the ring to start this T20 International. We've got a long on in place and deep point now being moved around to cover sweeper. Opening up from the village end here in Kerava. Another little delay. Certainly the players are ready. They've been here since 9 AM this morning warming up. They are ready to go. Just waiting on the official word from the umpires. Still waiting on the all clear. It could be that there's an air traffic control problem down here at Kerava. We are in the flight path for Helsinki's airport, which is located out at Vantaa. Just waiting for that 11 o'clock from Oslo to land, and then we can get underway. Round of applause going around the park. It looks like we're finally ready to begin. Here we go, game one. A little bit short outside the off stump. Run down to gully. A little bit of excitement off the first ball as there was a bit of indecision amongst the batsmen whether or not to run. Just a little bit down the leg side there. Off the thigh pad down to fine leg, and they run through for a leg bye to begin the scoring for Norway. Sanne Brunskar opening the bowling here from the village end. She bowls some very nice outswing. Trying a little hard there, jamming it into this deck. The artificial surface that they play on here in Kerava a little bit different from what you might find around the rest of the world. That's because of the freezing conditions that they get here in Finland during the winter months. Much better line and length there from Brunskar. But yes, the pitch is of various layers of shale rather than a concrete base. Short again, wide outside off stump, and that's another run to the total. But yes, this artificial surface, rather than having a concrete base like you might find around the rest of the world, various degrees and layers of rock and sand underneath that pitch. Means you can roll this artificial, and it also behaves a lot more like a real pitch. Again, better line and length there. Just want to be extra careful with what I call the players as the team sheets. Runs again, short and worked around the leg side down to fine leg. They do run through for a single. Good arm. Comes in over the stumps, but they get through. Yes, one of these team sheets has the surname second. One of the team sheets has the surname first. I just want to make sure that I do call the players the correct names, even if my pronunciation is a little off. I spent a bit of time this morning with the Danish side working on my pronunciation of the Danish names. That first over from Sanne Brunskar only leaking the 3 runs. Defended there into the offside. Divya Goleka opening up from the brewery end. Bowls in ducking darts. It's worked off the pad again into the leg side. Fielded there by one of the girls on debut today for Denmark. Hassan just taking guard there. It's a big full toss, and oh, she's been put down at square leg. Oh dear. Just into the hip, tapped into the leg side. It came very low and around the ankles. So a tidy enough start this from Denmark. They will be the team to beat in this tournament. They've been very positive and vocal in the outfield to start this game. The batter's just having a word there, probably about their running. It's been a little bit jerky to begin with. Wide down the leg side, another run to the total. Like it does get that little bit of induck with her action. Another full toss, again worked out into the leg side. Again a rocket arm coming in from inside the infield. They want to sort their running out. If that's the kind of throwing that is going to happen inside that infield, you can just see a run out coming. Again into the leg side. Unable to pierce the field. And there's the end of a pretty tight over. A couple of gimme balls that the Norwegians will wish that they'd been able to get away, but also lucky to survive that drop catch at square leg. A bonus for Norway. Call it odds or even after that one. No major changes in the field at all. Long on still in place. That cover sweeper guarding the boundary out on the offside. A wild one down the leg side there, and that'll be wide. After what was a very foggy morning here in Finland, I can tell you that the sun is out now. It's turning into a very warm and pleasant day. Not a breath of wind around. Jams it into the deck. Opening the batting with Hassan is Safi. She's on strike at the moment. It's a bit of length, or just a little in. It's a little, got a little toe on that one. It nearly snuck through. Again, jammed hard into the deck. You can see a little bit of frustration from Safi. She was really wanted to get those last couple of balls away. There are open spaces if she can work it into the gap. Full and down the leg side. Another extra to the total. Norway won't mind these. Runs on the board. Ooh, that was one she really should have latched onto there. Oh, given out by the umpire. I'm guessing the umpire's saying there that she got a little tickle on that. And it's gone through to the keeper and she's been given out caught behind. So there wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm from the girls on the park. The bowler herself had turned and was walking back to her mark. And then I saw the player standing at mid-wicket just throw her hands up in celebration, and we all turn around and the umpire's got his finger in the air. So Safi on her way. Must have been a little top edge. I really thought she should have latched onto that one and put it through the leg side. So she'll be disappointed that she didn't smack it to the boundary. She'll be more disappointed that she turned around to see the umpire with his finger in the air. Early success for Denmark though. Senna Brunsgaard with that early wicket. Nice little line and length there outside off stump. Well left alone by the incoming batter, which is Ramya Amadi. Denmark there with the early strike. Norway now 7 for 1 after 3 overs. Vigoleka is going to continue from the brewery end. Again, the player's out. Long on and a cover sweeper. Just remarking her run here. Obviously didn't feel like she found her rhythm in that first over. There were a number of full tosses into the pads. Probably lucky to get away with those. Just a little away outside the off stump. Hassan not overly committed to the shot. Possibly trying to run it down rather than cut it away. Oh, she's gone through her. Really full ball. Hassan trying to give herself room to hit that through the offside. It's gone under the bat and cleaned up the stumps. So second wicket down. And Denmark cock a hoop out there in the middle of the wicket. Celebrating hard and already running back into position. They've certainly been talking very confidently about their chances in this tournament. Again, just trying to see who's coming out to the wicket. I believe it's Kumari. And it is indeed Puya Kumari, who has come out to bat at 4. Big full toss. This time dealt with around the corner. Probably 2 there, but it looks like the batters do not want to take the risk, having lost 2 early wickets, and they settle for a single. Kumari off the mark, first ball. Brings Amadi back onto strike. Both batters taking a leg stump guard. Full and wide down the leg side. If there's an advantage today, it's probably with the bowling side bowling first in these conditions. Left alone outside off, and it is wide again. Just while the outfield's a little bit damp, the sun drying it out all the time, you can only expect it to speed up as the day goes on. That one round the corner just a couple of balls ago, pulling up inside the boundary. You imagine in an hour or two, it's very likely to have rolled away for 4. Full and pushed into the offside while I deal with a wasp here inside the commentary position. They talk a lot in Finland about the 45 different kinds of mosquitoes that they have here. They don't mention all that often as the wasps. Not a fan. Smashed into the pitch. Another wide. Secured there by the gully. Radar just going missing a little bit for the bowler in this over. Not leaking too many runs, mind you. And a wicket's pretty good. That's a much better ball. Outside off stump, leaving the batter through to the keeper. Reasonable carry. I do find that the 2 ends of this pitch do play slightly differently. The umpire now approaching the bowler. Not quite sure why. Yorker length delivery on target. And that's the end of a reasonably long 9-ball over there, but it did come with a wicket. So Norway 11 for 2. Not the start they would have been looking for. But as I was saying earlier, Denmark definitely the team to beat in this competition. And they must feel that they are on top. There's not going to be a change in the bowling either. Bronsgaard going to continue here from the village end. Into the pads, and Kamari nonchalantly taps that away into the leg side. Definitely the way to play out here today. Just knock it into the gaps, run those singles as hard as you can. I felt Norway's gotten a little bit stuck to begin with. The batters facing the same bowlers over and over, not rotating the strike the way they would have liked. Wide down the leg side, and another run to the total. You can just see that with Bronsgaard when she puts a little bit more effort in. The radar goes missing a little bit. She's fired a couple down the leg side, jammed a couple more into the deck. That one's down the leg side. The batter unable to catch up with it, and it'll be another run to the total. Again down the leg side, into the gloves. Amadi would be frustrated. She couldn't tap that away for at least a single. There are some wide open spaces into that leg side. In fact, they're just asking the long on to come up. Long on has come up to 2/3. And the square leg has dropped back behind the umpire. Long on now coming up to mid on. Only one outside the ring. And that's a good ball outside off stump, leaving the batter. That's the area she really wants to be hitting on a much more regular basis. In and around that off stump, leaving the batter, forcing them to play. Jammed into the leg side, and wouldn't you know it, she has picked out the mid-wicket, who's gobbled that. It came gift wrapped. Well, it sat in the deck, asking to be spanked. She hit it well enough, but straight to the fielder. And Amadi will have to make her way back to the hutch. Oh, that's got to be frustrating after seeing so many balls that could have been whacked, go to waste, to finally get one. But to hit it right to the fielder. Once again, the Danish side, they cannot believe their luck. Much better line and length there from the bowler. And it is Kumari who has come out to join the other Kumari in the middle. I do not know if they are related. Something for me to find out at drinks, perhaps. But she cuts that ball away confidently down towards third man and is off the mark immediately. So after 5 overs here, Norway 15 for 3. Denmark right on top. Still no bowling change from the Danes. Again, cut into the offside, confidently fielded there at point. I'd love to tell you exactly who's doing the fielding, but the Danes are not wearing numbers on their backs. That sounded like a very loud thunderclap from just outside the club rooms. Tapped away into the offside, and as I look out past the brewery and out to the west, it does appear that there are some thunderclouds forming out that way. It's not just some kids playing with sheet iron in a back alley somewhere. Big effort into that delivery. And yes, there's a big change starting to happen across the ground as that big dark cloud rolls in, and definitely suddenly affecting the light here. Kumari cuts that again to point. Throw goes into the bowler's end. Much tighter to start this over from Galika. Full delivery, well down the leg side. Another run to the total. Well, just looking at that big towering dark cloud out to our left, I hope it's going to go around us. We did have thunderstorms here yesterday in Finland. Very warm but very moist weather. Big effort. It's given a wide, but you can tell the batter really disappointed not to latch onto that. There is a cover sweeper, but if she can get it behind point, there's runs to be had. Again, that effort ball fired well down the leg side, and another run to the total. I can tell you, to constitute a match in this tournament, we do need 5 overs from each side. So if the weather does come into play, that is what you need to be looking at. On target this time, pushed into the offside, beats the point fielder, cover comes across, and they take a single. That's more of what you want to see from Norway, pushing it into the gaps and running. A game like this, especially one that could potentially be impacted by the weather, you just want runs on the board. full down the leg side, and the keeper does really, really well there, taking a wild bounce, coming through at face height. She got the glove up to protect herself and prevented any other extras. Full toss this time on the hip. Stroked away nicely into the leg side. It's running out towards the boundary. 3 fielders after it. They've hauled it in. Just inside the rope. That's why I say it's such an advantage to be bowling first out here today. The outfield just slightly damp. I think if it was a little bit drier, that definitely would have run away for 4. All the same, 2 runs to Puya Kumari. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Goleka come out of the attack now. She was looking a little tired towards the end of that over. And I'm not surprised. She has bowled a few extras. She's well and truly bowled her quota. It's just that she's only got 3 overs to her name. So that is the end of the power play. Kumari strokes that out into the covers and they run through for a single. So this is Sofia Ustagur. She has a front-on action. She doesn't run in so much as dawdle, but she has very strong shoulders and she really fires that ball down the other end of the pitch. Very accurate, little induckers. She's one to watch for the future of Danish cricket. I'm sure the coaches will be working with her to charge in a little bit harder and make the most of what she can produce in terms of pace. That's another wide outside the off stump, just getting away from the batter. You can tell just looking at her with those strong shoulders. There's another 10, 15, maybe even 20 Ks to be found in this bowler. Jammed into the deck. Smacked away down to long on by Kumari. Great throw from the outfield from Goleka. Throws down the stumps. A little short that time, struck into the leg side. Easily picked up and no run there. And that will be wide outside the off stump. The keeper doing her best to try and get across to parry that one down. But it's another extra to the total. Easily the top scorer for Norway so far. Batter judiciously leaving that alone outside the off stump. Happy to take the extra. Oh, gets it high on the bat and it's through the fingers. Gee whiz. Kamari's so lucky there. The fielder suggesting perhaps that she slipped a little as she was running into the ball. I didn't see it that way. That's one that just went through the fingers. And that's another big thunderclap rolling across the ground. Oostagua is going for 6 off that over. Only 2 runs off the bat though, she'll want to tighten up. And as I predicted, there is a bowling change from the Brewery end. It's going to be Katarina Brock-Nielsen, the other bowler with a bit of pace in this attack. Again, quite a front-on action, bowling those in duckers. But she does put a little bit more pace on the ball. Jammed into the deck and struck away through the leg side. Let's see if this one makes it to the rope. It is pulling up and the fielders have dragged it in once again. And they run through for 2. Some relaxed running at times from Norway. You'd want to be pushing for 3 there most days. Perhaps they just don't want to take the risk, given they've already lost 3 wickets. Oh, better length there from Brock-Nielsen. The follow-through is fantastic. She runs all the way down to the batter. Just to remind her who she's playing against. Fuller ball into the pads. Just trying to work it around the corner. Certainly no fine leg back. An easy 2 there if she can get a little tickle on it. Even though the fielding restrictions are off, Denmark remain attacking. There's a cover sweeper out. Everyone else appears to be up inside the ring. Outside off stump. And I did wonder there. I saw the umpire twitch. I thought we were going to have another wide. Jammed into the deck. Struck around the corner. Fielded there by one of the players on debut. End of the over. Norway 30 for 3. Just another look up at those clouds. And I'd like to think that the worst of it is going around the ground and not coming straight over us. It's certainly brighter than it was just a couple of overs ago. So fingers crossed that weather stays away. We are going to get another bowling change. Just the 1 over for Oostagua. Not sure what the delay here is with the umpire. run off the hip by Kumari, called through by her partner, and they get through for a good single. Now, if you look down the scorecard, you'll see that her name is written as Christensen. I am told that is absolutely not the way to pronounce it, but I really struggled. I can honestly say I really struggled to pronounce it the way they were trying to teach me. Jammed into the deck outside the off stump, and that'll be another extra. But Krasjonsson is how they were saying it. Knocked into the leg side. A little aerial, but drops safely. So, Louisa Krasjonsson. Probably still saying it wrong. Like I said earlier, you can find me on Twitter to tell me how wrong I'm saying everybody's name. Jez_Brown. Jammed into the deck. Oh, she set that well. That came right out of the screws. Smacked over mid-wicket, running away towards the boundary. It is up the hill here towards the forest end. I say forest end, the forest very much to the side of the ground. We're at the village end. To describe the ground to you a little bit more clearly. The far end is the brewery end. This end is the village end. Out towards mid-wicket as it stands in this over is the forest, and out towards cover you've got the pavilion. The ball just tapped on its head. Cover comes across. Plenty of fielders in the ring on the offside, and there is no run there. Yes, there's plenty of room around here to build a gigantic grandstand one day when cricket fully takes off in Finland. Good little Yorker. Some of the girls going up there. I presume they thought there was a little edge, but no.
It'll be going field side eventually.
Krasjonsson fires it in, just around the top off, and tapped into the offside once again by Kumari, and that will be the end of the over. Norway 34 for 3.
We can
A little bit of a recovery from these two. Starting to find their feet a little more as well.
like this on the
Some chants coming from the Norway dugout, supporting the batters in the middle. It is going to be Brock Nielsen to continue. Very full ball outside the off stump. Batter suggesting there to the umpire, I think, that might have been a wide.
yeah, maybe a little bit further.
Really slammed into the deck there, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a no ball. It is. A little double bouncer.
How's your biceps? Gonna come and lift some weight.
And this will be a free hit. There is a fielder stationed out cow corner. Wow. You'd have to say that Denmark got out of jail there. Kumari didn't really wind up.
Just come and
I'm sure she knew it was a free hit, but she certainly didn't go hell for leather and trying to hit that out of the park. It's one of those funny things with the free hit sometimes, though. The instincts take over. You get a Yorker at the stumps and you just tap it away. Oh, that's a shocker, and that will be another no ball. So this will be another free hit. And you would hope this time she will really wind up. There'll be a warning as well for the bowler. Big full toss this time. This time she unloads. Gets it right down the toe of the bat though. So even though she hit it over the top of the bowler's head, it didn't go very far. Just not getting that one out of the middle. They do run through for a single and the bowler will be warned. And I'm just trying to get a guide here, and I do think that the bowler, Brock Nielsen, has been taken out of the attack for dangerous bowling. That was 2 beamers above waist high, and I think the umpires have said, sorry, you can't do that, and they've taken it out of the attack. So that's really disappointing for Brock Nielsen. And it looks like Oostergur is going to finish her over. This will be a good one for the scorers to get their heads around. This will remain a free hit, even though Brock Nielsen won't be bowling it. And it will be Puya Kumari to face it instead. Looks like the umpire just wants to be sure with the scorers that they realise that the bowler has been changed. Oh, and again, the Danes get away with a free hit. Kumari not able to latch onto that one. Oostergaard coming around the wicket. Tapped into the offside. A sprawling dive from one of the fielders. Actually, perhaps it is not Oostergaard bowling, as I think she was the one who just tried to field that ball. So I will find out who is finishing this over. That one struck well, but straight to mid-on. Oh, there's a little top edge on that one. Oh, so very, very close to being out. The keeper did her best to get across to the leg side. That one was looping up in the air, just held there for what seemed like an age. The keeper running across, threw out a glove, tried to get under it. Just couldn't quite make the ground, and the ball found the earth. So Kumari lucky to get away with that one. And we are going to have a little stoppage. Everyone has earned a drink here in Finland. So that is where we stand at drinks. Norway 3 down. Suffy was the first to go. Caught behind In strange circumstances, a ball that bounced up over the stumps and was there to be hit through the leg side. It looked like she swung underneath it. Certainly the Danes didn't appeal all that hard. And then the umpire put his finger up. So the batter, Safi, had to turn and go. Much to the surprise of, it seemed like everybody else in the ground. And the Danes celebrated wildly. Second wicket was Hassan, trying to give herself room to strike through the offside. Got a full ball from Galeka. Got under the bat and destroyed the stumps. And then Imadi got one which she hit pretty darn well into the leg side, right off the meat of the bat, and straight into the hands of Krastjonsson, who again could not believe her luck. Came straight to her. So Brunsgaard with the 2 wickets, Galeka with 1. Denmark definitely ahead at this stage. Be interesting to see if Norway change their approach at all. There's definitely some coaching coming from the sidelines, but I think that might be the Danish coach suggesting perhaps a fielding change.
Where's the bathroom?
And it does look like it's Krastjonsson who will continue from the village end. Jams it into the deck, and definitely a show of force there from the batter. Practicing a couple of shots as well. I suspect that the word from the coaching staff is, get on with it, come on, let's go. Wide down the leg side, left alone, and an easy single to go on the tally. Full ball, and goodness me, I thought she's going to walk out of her crease. Keeper was certainly interested. Got to keep your head in the game at all times. Always be aware of where your feet are. Another one down the leg side. Another easy single to add to the total for Norway. Definitely a cool breeze suddenly coming across the northern end of the ground here, which is unfortunately where the dark clouds are. I certainly hope that doesn't mean they're coming our way. Rest behind that one, struck hard into the offside where it's been dropped. Oh dear, it's her second drop of the day. This one was a lot easier than the first. She might have got that on the end of the finger actually. Shaking it off. Full, and it has run away past the keeper, past the gully, and they will run through for what I assume will be a second wide. It is 2 wides. Fielder still shaking off that drop. It's cricket for you. If you're not familiar, the ball is hard. Jammed into the deck, tapped into the offside. No run there. Brock Nielsen coming in to clean that one up. down the leg side, and again that will be wide. Leaves that alone outside off stump, and again a wide. As I mentioned previously, extras easily the top scorer today. 26 so far from Denmark. Puyo Kumari currently out there on 9. With Bayita Kumari sitting on 5. That sits up nicely outside the off stump, stroked away to the cover sweeper, and they will run through for a single. Just defended there into the offside, and there'll be no run. It's interesting now to see that wind picking up. It is definitely coming from the direction that the dark clouds are coming from. So while I feel we missed a bullet before, that first big cloud going around the ground, I suspect this next one might be going to come straight over the top of us. We'll have to wait and see. From a Norwegian perspective, they want runs on the board. If this game is going to be curtailed and shortened in any way, they will want as many as they can to try and put pressure on Denmark if they should have to chase it within the realms of 5 overs, which is the minimum to constitute a match here today. Oh, goodness me. The batter there, ball watching, struck into the offside, running through. Her partner at the other end, unfortunately, just staring at the ball. We all get caught ball watching from time to time, but you really don't want to be doing that at international level. Again, a big moon ball. This one's a wide. Back home in New Zealand, where I am originally from, that kind of bowling is called a donkey drop. It is quite difficult to master. If you can throw it well up into the air and get it to bounce on a length, especially on an artificial pitch, it can be very, very hard to hit. This one's been allowed to go down the leg side. Surprised she didn't have a swing at that, actually. Just the one fielder standing down here at fine leg. If she got it either side of her, it was 4. My name tag there appearing on the screen. That's where you can find me on Twitter if you want to send me a tweet. Just like that, so hard to hit. Tapped into the offside. She comes a long way down looking for a run. There was probably one there, but once again, the running between the wickets from the Norwegians, not quite what you want. There's got to be a little bit more impetus there. Oh, those are so hard to hit. Struck into the offside, and they are going to get through for a single on this occasion. The fielder's just pulling that in at the edge of the ring. I apologise that the scoreboard's not currently on your screen. But we are working to fix that. Again, allowed to go through to the keeper. Another run to the total. Brings us up to 48. There you go, the Boffins in the back room. They're a clever bunch. Tapped into the offside. Straight to the fielder. No run there. A little bit of a teapot from Kumari. Frustrated that she couldn't find a gap in the field there. It's a good partnership from these two. Better line and length there this time and defended into the offside. Struck firmly, really firmly into the offside, but I think it was Brock Nielsen there, dropping to her knees and stopping that one in front of her face. And not for the first time today. Bayeta Kumari is having her laces seen to by the umpire. Double knots, please, Mr. Umpire. We don't want to have to stop for that again. Again, struck firmly and caught. Brock Nielsen, I'm pretty sure. The first one drilled into the ground. She did well to stop it this time. In the air the whole way, and she was able to take that at a pretty comfortable height. A couple of steps to her right and suck that one in. Denmark will be very, very happy to have broken that partnership. As I just see Puya Kumari changing her bat in the background. Well, this isn't the only game taking place this morning. But over in Tukurila, it is raining. So it's Gamage who has come out to bat, and she defends that one into the offside. And that is well outside the off stump. And sure enough, another wide. Brock Nielsen will be feeling a lot better about her day after having been taken out of the bowling attack for dangerous bowling, having taken that catch. You always want to feel like you're contributing out there on the park. Oh, that's much better line and length. Swing and a miss outside the off stump through to the keeper, and that is the end of a successful over in which Norway brought up their 50 50 for 4 now. And a successful one for Denmark. Able to break that partnership between Puyu Kumari and Bayeta Kumari. Sorry, Bayayata Kumari. I do have 2 different spellings for her name. See, that's that's a mastery of control. Anderson being able to throw it up there and land it on a length, it's quite a skill. And incredibly hard for the batter to hit that one. The reason it's so tricky is because of the way the ball bounces. You don't want to be hitting it in the air and putting a catch up. But you can't get over the top of the ball to knock it down. So it becomes incredibly difficult to defend and also to attack. Because if you try to hit them straight, again, there's a chance you'll put it up in the air. If you try to hit it through the offside, you're going to put it in the air. Very, very difficult. That's going to be an easier one for her to hit because she didn't throw it up in the air quite as high. Good bit of fielding again from the outfield, throwing down the stumps. Noticeably colder here in Katava just in the last 5 minutes, as I suspect those dark clouds get a little closer. Again, I'll remain hopeful they'll go round us, but as I say, it is raining at the ground in Tikarila. Oh, see. Yeah, you're never gonna get that LBW. Because again, the ball will bounce over the top of the stumps. I'm sure the umpire is acutely aware. But a stumping, the keeper will have to keep her wits about her. Those opportunities will come with frustration. Again, thrown right up, and again, it's gone past the batter, and the batter has had to work hard to get back into her crease. The keeper quick to whip the bails off, but she did get back. And that was a very tidy over from Anderson. I'm told that I'm not supposed to pronounce the D. Good start to this over from Christensen. And the match is resumed in Tikarila, so that's good. Back on the park. Oh, struck in the air. Doesn't quite carry all the way out to cover, but they get through for a single. I will try and get you a score update from that other game. Threw the shot a little early there. Wrapped on the gloves, and the ball trickles away into the offside. No run. Puyu Kumari very much holding this innings together. Jammed into the deck, tapped into the offside, goes out to the cover sweeper, and they do run through for another single. Tapped around the corner by Garmagay, and they will run through again for a single. Oh dear. Oh dear. The running from Kumari. She wasn't backing up, and it was a good throw in from the fine leg fielder. And I don't believe I saw her try to run her bat in either, so perhaps she was quite a long way short. But that's very unfortunate for her and for Norway. She was batting very well out there, just rotating the strike and holding up an end. So disappointment for Norway as they lose their 5th wicket, but a nice piece of fielding. Looks like the word out there from the umpires is to try and rush through here. And once again, different batter, but those shoelaces need dealing to. Once again, everyone at home, double knots. Double knots are the answer. But it will be Anderson to continue from that Brewery end. And I can tell you, the second I get a chance, I'll be finding my jacket. It is definitely cooling down here. Kamage taking strike. Gunaratnam is the batter who's come out to join her, standing down the other end. She did well to wait for that one. Tap it on its head and through into the offside, where Brock Nielsen did the fielding. Oh yeah, it's just impossible. Big, big appeal. And the umpire, well, he waited and he waited and he waited. But he's given that one out, caught behind. A really, really difficult delivery, which spat up off the deck. Good take from the keeper. And I'm afraid that is a golden duck for Gunaratnam. So difficult to play though. You'd find players at all levels of top flight cricket who would struggle with that delivery. The ability to just toss it right up in the air and land it on a length. It's just very, very hard to play, especially on an artificial pitch. You just get that little bit of extra bounce. Sometimes playing on an artificial can be a little bit like a trampoline. Generally speaking, if you're bowling along the deck, the ball behaves very nicely, but if you can throw it up in the air like this, very, very tricky. Confident defence into the offside. And she just lets that one go through. Looks very much like it's Agrawal who has come out to bat. Oh, gee, that's hard to play. The batter's done really, really well there, using her feet, getting to the pitch of the ball, covering it as best she can and knocking it back down the pitch. But if she misses that, the keeper will have those bails off so quickly. Oh, and that's the problem. Try to play a shot with that bounce. A little bit of a celebration dance from the Danes. Great little bit of bowling here from Annie Anderson. And Agrawal as well will have to find her way back to the pavilion as the Danes stamp a little bit more authority on this game and on this total. Norway now 53 for 7. It's a very, very slow walk back to the pavilion actually from Agrawal. She was looking to be positive, but she tapped that one up in the air. Looks like Ulstergaard is going to come on to bowl here at the village end. A little bit of discussion with the umpire. Garmagay took strike, walked away, come back. She wants to set herself correctly. Garmagay attacks that one, but seems like this Danish field is absolutely everywhere. And that will be a wide. Good bit of keeping actually to make sure that didn't run away for 2. Oh, it struck nicely over the inner ring. It's actually beaten the fielder, and that's really well run. Coming back for 2. The fielder out there in the pastures, clearly placed there because she's got a rocket arm. She did really well to recover and get that ball back in. Again, struck really, really well, but straight to the fielder. There's a shy at the bowler's end, but she's home. Bit of a change in the batting lineup as well. Garmagay gets that one out of the middle. A dive from the fielder. She parries it away, but they get through for a single. Yes, it looks like Ravindra Kumar has come out to bat. Little inside edge there into the onside as I desperately search for my jacket. As I was saying earlier, this is the coolest cricket tournament in the world, the Nordic T20. And when the sun's shining, you can get out the Barker Lounger, get a Mai Tai, be very, very comfortable in the sun. But I tell you, when it's cold, it's cold. That breeze can catch up. Nowhere near as cold as the coldest conditions I ever played in, though. That was down in Dunedin in New Zealand. And I can tell you, on a very, very cold summer's day close to Antarctica down there in Dunedin, we played in sub-zero conditions on frozen turf. With blue hands. That was cold. So Galeka back into the attack. The rest has done us some good. There was some good pace on that last delivery. Again, big effort. Worked away into the leg side, but no run. Again, she's come back in the second spell with some good pace. Winded her back. I'll try and get you that score update from Tikarilla, but what I can tell you is that they are off the pitch for rain once again. Well defended there by Gamagay. Sounds like she's got a nice bat. Oh, and again, right off the middle. And the ball running away to the square leg boundary. Great chase from the fielder. Well, she clearly did athletics all through high school, because she showed a clean pair of heels in chasing that one down to the boundary. I haven't run that fast in 20 years. So in our other game between Sweden and Finland, it is Sweden batting first. Defended into the leg side here. And Sweden currently 110 for 3 after 12.2 overs. So they're making some serious headway against the Finnish attack. They'll be disappointed to be off the park. Oh, that looked pretty straight. Going down the leg side though. And that was a really, really good final over from Goleka. Strange to call a single over a whole spell, but that's T20 cricket for you. She's going to finish her 4 overs with 1 for 16. Looks to me like we're going to get the other opener back into the attack as well. It does indeed look like Sanne Bronsgaard, who is going to charge in here from this village end. Slams it into the deck. She's easily got the most pace of the Danish bowlers. And it sounds like there's an overrate penalty being applied against the Danes. They're taking too long to bowl their overs. And so what that means in this version of cricket is that there are some fielding adjustments. Oh, nearly a run out. I believe they have to move another fielder into the outer ring. The inner ring. Again, I have to check that. The rules slightly different between men's and women's cricket in that regard. Fired well down the leg side. It's not a surprise that there's an overrate penalty given how many extras that have been bowled. Norway have certainly received more than their allotment in terms of balls bowled, but many of them deemed to be illegal. That one struck straight to square leg and there's no run. Just having a look at the scoreboard, in fact, and there have been 34 extras. Something for the coach to look at with the team. And they sit down and run through the numbers at the end of this game. Oh, that was a good delivery. She got her wrist right behind the ball. Good carry in and away, just outside that off stump. Ron's got a couple of deliveries left here to try and add to her wicket tally. Slings that one down the leg side. With that kind of a slingy action, you do get a little in-dip. And controlling that in-dip can sometimes be a little bit tricky. Someone like Lasith Malinga was an absolute master at it. Struck on the pads. But it's strange to think that a woman from Denmark bowls with such a subcontinental bowling action. I can think of one Naseem Shah, bowls with a very similar action. He was able to win the game with the bat, I think, against Afghanistan the other night. Oh, high on the bat. Good piece of bowling. But it didn't go to hand into the leg side, and they will run through for a single, and that will be the end of Brunsgaard's spell. 2 for 13. Good bowling from her. What you want from your opening bowler. So what can Norway do here with just 1 over to go? I imagine they'll not be entirely thrilled with this total. But funny things happen in cricket. You get a couple of wickets, put a bit of pressure on. It can always be your day. But if they could get 5 more, I reckon, if they could push it into the 70s. Leaves that one alone as it trickles wide outside off. Oostergur here into her 3rd over. Oh, struck into the offside. Well, actually, it's come off the outside edge. So it has run away for a single. I thought she got a little bit more of that. I thought it was going square of the wicket. The fielders were converging. And it just ran away for 1. Again, wide outside off. Gamage has looked really good at the crease. I'd be in the coach's ear about a promotion. That might be the area where she's got a little bit more of a weakness. Which is beaten. But certainly on the square shots, she's looked really, really good. Struck it out of the middle. Swing and a miss that time, though. Outside edge in court. They've had that fielder there all day. Sort of wide second slip. And it's finally paid off for them. The ball just coming off the outside edge. Sitting in the air, the fielder having to come forward to take it. That's never easy to do when you're fielding behind the wicket. So taking a good catch and sending Gamage back to the pavilion. A well-earned wicket for Ostagur. So 2 legitimate balls remaining. It's a short one. She struck it into the leg side. One batter wants it, one batter doesn't. Oh, she's very, very late to get back. Oh, there's some terrible running, and she has been run out. That is a calamitous run out. Wow. Communication really letting them down there. It was Horazwan who struck it into the onside, originally wanted the run, turned down by her batting partner. So she went back to make her ground. There was a shy at the stumps, which missed, but got away from the keeper. Then the batter at the other end decided to call Razwan through. Razwan turned to run and was turned down again by her batting partner. The throw came in from the fielder backing up. The keeper collected it and took the bails off with Razwan short. So Razwan sold down the river more than once, unfortunately, by her batting partner. Just the 1 wicket left now for Norway. Struck into the air, over the top of the bowler. Once again, some horrendous running. And there is a run out, and that will be the end of the innings. So she might have dropped the Corton bowl, but it was a great recovery. Again, some ball watching there from Ravindra Kumar. And in the end, Norway are going to finish on 68. All out, with just the 1 ball remaining in the innings. A great performance from Denmark to bowl out Norway in these conditions. But yes, some calamitous running there at the end. You get that from the tail sometimes. The calling's not so clear. The decision making not so sure. And in the end, it's a team hat-trick. 3 wickets off the last 3 balls of the innings. So very shortly, Denmark will come out to bat. They will be looking to make 69, which is a pretty nice total to be chasing, while we hear another thunderclap from out behind the pavilion there. Just leaning out the window to see what's going to happen. But before I have a quick drinks break of my own, let's run through the card. Hassan there at the top didn't get off the mark. She got a full ball, which she wasn't able to get away. Knocked over the poles. Safi, she ended up on 2. And Mahdi, well, she also failed to score. Puya Kumari, she was actually able to put together a really good partnership with her namesake Kumari. think it was 35 or 36 runs they were able to put together out there in the middle. It doesn't show it because Puya Kumari scored 12, while Bayeta Kumari scored 6, but there were a lot of extras while they were at the crease, and so a really good indication of what you can accomplish when you put a partnership together and just stay out there in the middle. Anything can happen. But once that partnership was broken, well, things fell apart pretty quickly. Kunaratnam also failing to score, Agrawal failing to score, Razwan and Orotala also not troubling the scorers, but Gamage managed to knock a couple on the head and get herself to 7. And I'm not too sure about that scorecard. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was Ravindra Kumar who was run out off the last ball. So they might want to have a look at that one. Regardless, 68 the total from Norway. And we will be back very, very shortly for Denmark's chase, as I see some of the groundsmen quickly running around and making sure that they've got the covers in the best possible position to pull onto the ground should that need to happen with any kind of haste. So join us back here in 10 for the Danish chase. Taravatulua, and you join us back here at the Kerava National Cricket Ground in Kerava, just outside Vanta, north of Helsinki in Finland, for this women's T20I as part of the Nordic T20, where Norway batted first, put up a total of 68, which Denmark are now going to try to chase as quickly as they possibly can, because there is a little bit of weather hanging around. Quite a few thunderclaps, in fact, rumbling in the distance off behind the clubroom side of the ground. Needs to be 5 overs to constitute a match, and the Danes will be wanting to put as many runs on the board as early as they possibly can to make sure they're ahead of the run rate. Looks like Delgur and Lisner are going to open the batting, and Garmagay is going to open the bowling from this village end. Little delay there, but looks like we're about to get underway. Lisner on strike, keeper. And she has tonked that. Absolutely smacked that out of the middle. And immediately that ball has run away for 4. There was a real advantage today in bowling first when the outfield was just that bit wet. We had a really heavy dew last night. Really big fog here over the ground. The outfield just that little bit wet when they started. Norway were unable to find the rope. The ball running all the way out to it 3 or 4 occasions, but not over it. There you go, Denmark first ball, smacking it. And this time, she's popped it up over the offside, just over the inner ring, and they're going to try to run through for 2. There's a really good throw that's come in. And they have made their ground. So, really, really aggressive start here from Lisner. Fired in, and again on the front foot, but into the onside, and oh, the batsman throws her head back. She can't believe it. She has picked out the fielder. Just picks her out. And cool as a cucumber. Looked like Ravindra Kumar, who took the catch. Just settled under it. Put the hands out. Didn't even celebrate. The rest of the team did. She just caught it. Threw it on the ground. No worries, mate. Do this all the time. So, good early wicket. Certainly, Lena was looking very, very aggressive. Clearly very strong with bat in hand. She absolutely smoked that first one to the boundary. It's going to be Brock Nielsen who comes out at number 3. She was taken out of the attack earlier today for bowling 2 beamers. She wouldn't be too happy about that, but she certainly continued to support the rest of the team in the field, taking a good catch. That wicket really made the Norwegian fielders a lot more sprightly. They're all talking now. Down the leg side, looks like she just got a little tickle on that. Runs away for a single. Now the left-hander Delgour comes on to strike. And Kamake is going to come around the wicket. Down the leg side, and that will be a wide. Seen a few of those today. Denmark will feel they bowled a few too many. 39 in the end. Easily the top scorer in that Norwegian innings. It's a nice strike into the offside. Well run through. Denmark absolutely the team to beat in the Nordic T20. Strongest of the sides in this tournament. Oh, there's a big question asked. Given wide by the umpire, so suggesting that there's definitely nothing on it. Further, I think that actually bounced in front of the keeper, so curious appeal. Jammed into the deck. And another wide. So as I was saying just a moment ago, Denmark the strongest of the teams here in this tournament, but as we've seen over the last few years, the development of cricket through the Nordic countries has been quite substantial. Just tapped into the onside. And so while we've seen an evening up of the talent and skill at the men's level, I think what we're going to see is the same again in the women's competition. And you might say over the next 5 years that there's going to be a lot of catching up by the other Nordic nations, and these sides are going to become increasingly competitive. Free hit there from a no ball, smashed out to square leg. I can't see who's out there, but they are right on the boundary, so just the single. And I'd say that's the end of what was quite a long first over. Denmark were guilty of giving away too many extras. Well, looks like Norway are too. If they can tighten up a bit, that's where they could even up this game substantially. Bowl wicket to wicket, not give away those extras. Denmark will know they've given away too many. So if Norway can really limit the number that they give away, take a couple of wickets, put some pressure on, then who knows how this game could go. So Agrawal fires it in, a bit of a mix-up, but the non-striker gets back. Tossed up outside off, struck into the offside. Again, pretty good bit of fielding. I think it's Delgur that might be playing with a broken hand. I'm not 100% on that. I think it's her though. I shook her hand at the nets earlier today. I need to have a hand and a cast extended out to me. That one goes down the leg side. They clearly breed them tough over there in Denmark. Coming out to bat with a broken hand. Just off the outside edge, runs away to Gully, and they're able to scamper through for a single. But I can see why they were hiding her at fine leg all day in the field. When one of your hands is in a cast, you certainly don't want to be underneath any catching opportunities, or as few as possible anyway. The batter there being troubled by something flying. There's been a couple of wasps around today, so you never know, it could be one of them. Tossed outside the off stump through to the keeper, who collects that one. While I chase away another one of these wasps, which is desperate to come into my commentary position. Just popped up into the offside there. Good line and length from Agrawal. And just tapped back to the bowler and no run there. This is the sort of pressure that Norway really need to apply to Denmark. If they can just find a couple of wickets, put some pressure on, they would back themselves to cause an upset here today. The real key from that over from Agrawal was the lack of extras. That's what Gamage needs to find a way to do in this over. She gave away too many in that first over, and she just needs to straighten up, bowl some dots, create some pressure. She's going to continue around the wicket. Doesn't look like Norway have any fielders outside the ring. That's been given wide down the leg side. Oh, big swing. I thought I heard a little something then. No appeal from anyone in the field. I thought I heard a little tickle. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe it was the sound of a wasp clanging into the perspex. Down the leg side, the batter can't catch up with it, and it'll be another wide. As I was saying earlier, the Danes need to face 5 overs for this to constitute a match. There has been some trouble with the weather. Mostly at the other ground in Tikurela, where it's been raining on and off. Tapped into the onside, and there's no run. We've been staring down the barrel at some very threatening dark clouds here in Kedava, but even though we've heard plenty of thunderclaps, no rain has fallen. The outfield's dried out. Again down the leg side. And again, that's going to be a wide. This is not what Norway want. They want to bowl tight. But yes, Denmark currently ahead of the run rate, which is where they want to be. And again down the leg side. And she's been called through by a partner, and they're going to get an extra one too. Oh dear. So 2 wides there. I'm sure she will not persist around the wicket. And indeed, she's coming back over towards Brock Nielsen. And that's a much better line and length. Again, much better line and length. If the batsmen swap over again, I dare suggest that she stay over the wicket where she seems to have a little bit more control. Oh, it's an outside edge, and gee, that so easily could have gone to hand. I'm not so sure Agrawal there standing at sort of like a wide second slip. I'm not so sure she was awake to that. It went flying past her left, but she didn't even really throw out a hand. When you don't have too many runs on the board, you really have to make every opportunity count. She's going to come back round the wicket. Not so sure about this. Better line and length though, and a bit of ball watching there from Brock Nielsen. Oh, she's lucky. So the pick up and throw did go to the keeper's end, but yeah, she was ball watching as she was called through by her partner. So after 3 overs, Denmark well ahead, 23 for 1. And they need just 69 today to defeat Norway. In fact, it looks like, because of the over rate, well, that cannot be right. Hang on. There's a graphic here telling me Denmark need 46 from 17, but that can't be right because it was Denmark that was slow to bowl their overs. I'm sure the penalty doesn't go against Norway. Anyway, Agrawal. Oh, I see. That's what they have remaining. Tapped into the air and past mid-on, running down the ground, and the batsman will try to come back for 2. No, a good piece of fielding keeps them to 1. Yes, there's been a couple of funny technical things today in terms of Denmark being penalised for their slow over rate and a bowler being taken out of the attack for bowling beamers and all that sort of stuff. So it's my mistake looking at the wrong graphic, thinking that Denmark needed to chase less runs in less overs. Strangely enough, it's just how many runs they need to get from the overs remaining. The sort of standard cricket stat you wouldn't think to overlook. Perhaps I should have had some more caffeine this morning. Oh, that's gone straight up in the air. Settling underneath of it. Oh, she's made a meal of it. Oh, that's a really unfortunate drop. Clear call, easy catch. Ball was definitely spinning in the air. But that's a bad drop. Some really good bowling from Agrawal. Her left armers are proving tricky for the Danish batters. Really, really accurate. That one zips through to the keeper. Trying to see who it was there at backward point who put that one down. She's looking at her hand. But it just went straight through. Oh. Good bowling, good shout. Batter walks away to square leg to contemplate life. Knows that they're in a little bit of trouble here against this bowler. Tossed right up. The batter walks away because of a wasp. That will count as a legal delivery. She didn't pull away till it was too late, so that delivery will count. She's lucky the ball didn't hit the stumps. Having that conversation with the umpire now about the fact that there are wasps around today. And it looks to me like we've got a bowling change here at the village end. And it's going to be Safi, who was the one who put down that catch in the last over. Coming around the wicket. Oh, goodness me. Batter used her feet to get down. Missed it. And unfortunately, it bounced a bit on the keeper, and she was a little bit slow to get those bails off. So, a bit of good fortune there for the batter, able to get her bat down behind the line before the bails came off. Big swing and a miss. Goes through the keeper. Good backing up there from, I think it was the gully fielder who ran across. So no runs conceded. Once again, a huge wind-up from the batter. Delgur really wants to smash it through that offside. Fair enough too, if she can get a hold of it, it's gonna go. She's looking to hit it that hard. Broken hand and all. Jammed into the deck and struck straight back to the bowler, who gets a hand on it. Called through and a direct hit, but Delgur did well to run through and make her ground. So good run there for Denmark. Good straight one. Brock Nielsen taps it into the onside and there's no run. So you might be curious as to where Denmark need to be at the end of 5 overs if they want to win this one. Struck into the leg side. Well picked up by Garmagay. Great throw as well. Good piece of fielding from her. Well, Denmark currently 28 for 1. But at the end of the 5th over, 1 down, they actually only need to be on 15. So well ahead of the rate, Denmark. There's no question that the Norway side are going to have to bowl them out if they want to win this one. Tap down to mid-on, running with a shot. Oh, it's a hairy old throw. So mistakes made running between the wickets from the Danes, but it's not going to cost them. Very fortunate indeed. It was Hassan who picked it up and was throwing towards the keeper's end, but came skewing out the side of her hand. So nowhere near the mark, and the batters easily making their grounds. Heart in the mouth moment though. Brock Nielsen had her back to the fielder. She wouldn't have known where the throw was going. So it was just head down, tail up, and run as fast as you can. In the end, another run to the total. And Denmark well ahead of where they need to be to win this game. I think we've been very, very fortunate here at Ketewa. The big dark clouds going around the ground instead of directly over us. I know they've had rain at Tukarila, but very fortunate here. We haven't even had a spit. So Agrawal to continue with their left armers. Tosses it up, struck back to the bowler, and there'll be no run. Good bit of bowling this. No question, Agrawal got some real skill. Oh, that's a great bit of fielding. And Brock Nielsen will have to make her way back to the hutch because that is a direct hit. I'd love to tell you who threw that, but I can't see. She's been completely mobbed by her teammates. Bit of an apology there from Dalgur. Just apologizing to her teammate. Personally don't think that it was her fault. I think there was a run there. It was just that Brock Nielsen was a little slow out of the gate, and it was just a very, very good throw. So once again, the Danish side not wearing numbers on their tops. So I haven't quite memorized the silhouette of each player yet to know exactly who is coming to the crease. Get that updated in a sec. It does look like it's their opening bowler though. Brunsgur. She had a good day with the ball, bowling with some good pace. Thrown right up outside off stump, so that'll be a wide. I do wonder if that was on purpose though. Tempting the batter, saying, would you like to take a lolly from the lolly jar? Have a swing at this. Plenty of fielders on that offside if you want to pop one up. And that's going to be wided as well, but she had a swing at that one. Much tighter this time. Swing and a miss. Good length from Agrawal there. Asking questions. Could be that Brunskor just needs to tap it into the offside, run some singles here. Looks like she might be looking for a bigger hit, which she really doesn't need to. End of a very, very good over from Agrawal. The wicket doesn't go against her name, but she did all the hard work, creating the pressure, which forced that run out. So after 6 overs now, Denmark 31 for 2. Norway haven't shown much interest in having any players outside of the ring. It's a sort of a weird, no, again, changes being made. It is the end of the power play, but we had a fielder at sort of a weird cow, where she was sort of 2/3 of the way back. They've moved her now into the covers. Big swing and a miss. Questions being asked by the keeper. I'm not quite sure what that was about. Very animated. And that's well wide outside off. Didn't stop the batter from having an almighty swing at it though. It's better she got more on that one. Struck straight to that fielder in the covers, and a little bit of a fumble lets them through for that single. He was probably always there running with the shot, but could have been close if she picked it up cleanly. See if Brunskor wants to have a hit here. Defends that one, but you can just tell she wants to swing the willow. I can tell you that the match has resumed over at T20I, by the way. Finland are going to be chasing 121 from 13 overs. That's a new Duckworth-Lewis score. Because Sweden were going along very, very well. Sweden were looking to put up a very big total indeed. So Finland will need 121 from 13 overs. And I can tell you, they've already lost an early wicket. So Sweden looking very strong over there in T20I. Just tries to tickle that one round the corner, but it will be wide again. That one fired down the leg side. This time she got, well, she actually got quite a bit of bat on that, working it round the corner, and they should come back for 2, and they do. Hit it better than she thought, I think. She's trying to tap it round the corner, and it's really run away. When I was learning my craft in terms of bowling, and bowling with some accuracy, I had some chalk, a hockey ball, and a pile of bricks. So I drew a set of wickets on a pile of bricks, And I heft that hockey ball at that pile of bricks day in and day out. This one is struck in the air and it's been put down by Kamari. Oh dear. That's really disappointing. She seemed to hold it for ages before she dropped it. It must have just bobbled and slipped out. Wow. Bit of misfortune for Norway. But Bronsgaard will breathe a sigh of relief. But yes, when I was a youngster learning the game, that is how I learned to bowl straight. Because when that hockey ball pinged off that pile of bricks, it came back at a rate of knots. And either I caught it or dodged it. So it's good for hand-eye. But better yet, if it were actually bowled straight, it was a lot less dangerous for me. Good way to learn. Agarwal now. Bit of a nutmeg there between the legs, and they've decided to run. In the end, they've actually gotten through. So Garmagate picked that up and underarmed it into the keeper, but all the way along the turf, which really slowed the ball down. Strange single though. I'm absolutely certain that Bronsgaard hit that between her legs. Tossed right up, using her feet again and running with the shot. Really, really confident stuff from Dalgur. You can see why, even though she's injured, she is in this side and opening the batting. Oh, there's a big appeal, and she's been given. Well, I don't know if she did touch it, but the whole team went up, and the batter's gone to have a chat with the umpire. I'm sorry, but he's given you out. You've got to go, even if you didn't think you hit it. And I am not so sure she did. It doesn't matter. You're gone. So, good appeal from Norway. Agrawal gets the reward for what has been a wonderful spell of bowling. Real disappointment for the batter, but that's cricket. You can see here, Denmark well ahead of the game. Real flurry of wickets towards the end of that Norwegian innings. But who knows? Norway can nab a few here. Send a couple more back to the pavilion. You never know. That's a wild one though, to start. So it's Anne Anderson. And she struck it back to the bowler there, who does well off her own bowling to parry that one down and prevent a single. Oh, through to the keeper, another big appeal, but I tell you what, you don't get two of those in the over. So here we go. The last ball of Agrawal's spell. She's bowled really, really well. Fires it in straight. Another big appeal. And that's the end of Agrawal's spell. 1 for 10 from her 4 overs. Really good effort that. You can probably credit that run out in her direction as well, applying pressure from one end. It's been really, really good. In fact, I dare say if the bowling from the other end had been as tight as it has been from the Brewery end, this game might be on a little more of a knife edge. As it is, Denmark only need 69. So 29 more to go. Norway, they need 7 wickets. So they're really counting on Denmark to fall apart here. And that'll be well wide outside off. She's come down the track, danced past one, and unfortunately the keeper could not collect that cleanly. So another life. Jammed into the deck, hit high on the bat. Bowler able to get across and do the fielding herself. Again, there's a little bit about this bowler, Safi. A little bit more training. Because when she gets it right, it really does come out well. Struck directly to mid-off, has a shy at the stumps, misses, and that's another single. So Delgur, again, showing real intent with the bat. She is running with the shot. When she hits it, she's off. Anderson now. Full and struck through the offside. Point dives over the top of that one. And they're going to look for 2. They're going to get it. Again, I think it's Delgur who's calling the shots out there. She's the one pushing for those 2s. Running hard between the wickets. Calling her partner through. Good length delivery there. Tap down to mid-on, and there is no run. BS. I don't know how keen she might be to do it, but some sprint training for Safi. Really get some more power into the legs, and then a little bit of wrist work. She could probably add another 10 Ks at least to her speed she bowls. Struck well through the leg side. Again, they'll be looking for 2. They turn and, oh, if the throw had been a little bit stronger, Delgur was in trouble there. I think she always thought the ball was going to go to the keeper's end, but no, it came into the bowler's end, and she was a little bit behind the mark there. All the same, another 2 runs. That is the end of the over. Yes, it doesn't matter what level of cricket you're playing at. If you turn to a player and say, I think you need to do some sprint training, it's pretty hard to get a positive response. Not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. Like during July, one of the players that I play with back in England was doing the 100 push-ups a day challenge. And he was trying to get everybody else to join in, do 100 push-ups a day. I can tell you he didn't have any takers. Maybe that first day, he got a couple of the guys to do maybe 10, maybe 20, but there was absolutely no chance that any of the rest of us were going to do 100 push-ups a day every day of July, even if it was for a good cause. Maybe next year. You know, it's a hard sell. So, quite a few changes in the field here as we have a change in the bowling attack from the Brewery end. Again, it's a really slingy action from Rania Amadi. Good pace though. I can imagine if she bowls with some accuracy here, she will trouble the batsman. Just losing her length and jamming it into the deck. She's been swept well out towards that square leg boundary. Ball's running up the hill. Looks like it is going to stop in front of the boundary rope. Fielder umming and ahhing about throwing the ball in, possibly trying to bait the Danish batters into trying to take a third. I don't mind that, a little bit of byplay. Oh, it's gone straight to the fielder at fine leg. She's had a throw. It's gone to the bowler's end. So, interesting decisions made there. In the end, it means that Denmark pick up another single. But certainly when Amadi gets it right, when she gets her length right, with this really, really slingy action, she's got some pace on the ball. It's quite difficult to pick up. That one round the corner straight to the fielder. Real chance there for Norway. Ooh, I think that might have been an off-cutter. It's gone down the leg side anyway, never mind. But it's good to see some variety, trying to switch it up. Brings up the 50 for Denmark. Yeah, that's a good length, good pace outside the off stump and through to the keeper. I'd like to think that Anderson has had a lot of experience facing this kind of bowling. It's quite similar to Brunsgaard. Oh, again, I think that might have been an attempt at a slower ball. It's gone way, way down the leg side and they've snuck through for an extra. So that'll be 2 wides. Still remarkable we haven't had any rain here. We've got dark clouds on basically every single side of the ground. And we are just sitting in a pocket of air where there is absolutely no rain. Very, very fortunate indeed. Jams this one into the deck. Cued off the toe of the bat by the batter. When I talk about the ball being cued, it's just like using a cue in a pool hall when you're playing billiards or snooker. The ball has bounced right off the very end of the bat. That one has been helped around the corner, and I would say that's going to go all the way to the rope, and it has. Out of the middle, and away she goes. Just using the pace of the bowler, smart batting, and Dalgur picks up a boundary. You can just see the Norwegian players a little bit deflated. Out there in the middle, there's a lot of talking. Looks to me like we're going to have drinks. I can hear the groundsman in the background suggesting that perhaps having drinks when there's weather about isn't the smartest move, but never mind. Get them on quickly. Drink them as fast as you can and get on with the game. Here is the summary where we sit currently. Denmark well ahead in this one. Just 13 more to get. And I know that Denmark bowled well today. They shared the wickets around, but if I was going to put a ring around a player of the match, it would be Dalgur. Just the impetus and intent that she's shown with the bat to run these singles, to get the runs on the board, to chase down what, you know, could have been a difficult total with, you know, a flurry of wickets. I think she's the one who gets the medal from me anyway. Probably doesn't count for much. I don't get an official say. You're always welcome to contact me on Twitter if you have an opinion of your own. So, a little bit of a top edge, skews away there to gully. It's Puya Kamari who has come into the attack from the village end. She was the best of the Norwegians with the bat today. And she's bowling some off spin. Suggestion there that perhaps that clipped the off stump, but I get the feeling that it might have come off the keeper's gloves and back into the wickets. Good type bowling this, wicket to wicket. She's bowling what we called doorknobs when I was a bit younger. Oh, indecision between the stumps. They've thrown at the wrong end. Needed a little bit of eyes up cricket there. But yeah, it doesn't look like she's putting too many rotations on the ball. Just rolling her fingers over it as she sends it down the other end. That one's popped up in the air, and again, isn't going to go to hand. So, this is a good over from Kamari. Great flight, just bouncing up over the stumps. And that is the end of a very good over, I believe, a maiden. Some good banter there too between the bowler and the batter. Yes, if we were to talk about the master of doorknobs, there's one Grant Bradburn from New Zealand, who played a bit of test cricket for New Zealand, bowling off spinners that you would suggest may have turned but never did, and that was down to the rotations on the ball. And I remember there was a wonderful graphic that they brought up to show the difference between Grant Bradburn and Shane Warne. Shane Warne was getting revolutions on the ball, getting the ball to turn something like 30 times before it reached the other end. Grant Bradburn 9. Well, I can tell you which ball was more likely to turn. But Grant Bradburn, he's gone on to have a very successful coaching career. He's currently coaching Pakistan. Had stints with various international sides. Struck firmly into the offside. Kumari can't cut it off. Running away towards the boundary. It's been hauled in down there. Good chase. Safi to continue. Oh, I think that was the off cutter. Again, good to see some variation in the attack. Again, off the toe of the bat, struck straight to mid-on, has a shy at the stumps, misses, and they get through for another single. Really, really good intent from Dalgur. Oh, jammed into the deck, and there'll be no run. Wide outside the off stump, and that should tick Denmark over to 60. Just 9 runs to go now. Oh dear. That will be a no ball, even though it has hit the stumps. And that will also mean a free hit for Anderson, if she would like to have a heave. And I hope she does. I really hope she gives it some welly and tries to knock it out of the park, because I can tell you, the support from the Danish bench would be enormous. They would be up on their feet if she smashes this to the rope. Well, she gave it a good go, a little bit of indecision in the running, and in the end, it's ended up a dot ball. So that will be the end of Safi's spell, number 21. She doesn't look too happy, but she didn't bowl that badly. Just a few extras that she'll hope to clean up as this tournament progresses. Some changes in the field here. Kumari moving players outside of the ring. We haven't seen too many of the Norwegians standing outside of the ring, but we've got someone out at cover and at mid-wicket as well. Both of them about halfway to the boundary. Tossed up outside the off stump. Defensive prod from the batter, but all a little half-hearted. This one is in the air, but away from Gamage. So Three fielders converge on the ball out at deep point. I get the feeling that Kumari would rather be bowling at Anderson anyway. Again, lots of changes in the field, and pretty much everyone comes up inside the ring, except for Cover, who's standing about 5 outside. Might have been the arm ball, that one. Just pushed through a little bit more outside off. Tossed right up this time, and a swing and a miss from Anderson. Oh, she's bowling a great length, but the thing is, when you're bowling on an artificial pitch like this, you're always going to get that little bit of extra bounce. If you're bowling on a turf wicket, there's every chance that's going to go under the bat and into the stumps, but on the artificial, it's going to bounce like a trampoline right over the top of the sticks. There you go. She adjusts how much flight she gives the ball, a little bit flatter, but it's a little bit easier for the batter to hit too. So struck into the leg side, and they run through for a single. All the same, some good bowling from Kumari. I imagine we're going to see a lot more of her at the bowling crease throughout this tournament. Keeping it really, really simple, but just the way she's bowled with the control that she's got, I do wonder if they could have opened the bowling with her perhaps. Seam from one end, spin from the other. Tried to eat up some overs and create some pressure on Denmark that way. Certainly no risk of her being penalised for bowling too slowly. The run-up consists of about 2 steps. She fires it in. She's not going for any runs. You can clock in and over it under 2 minutes. Really, really quick. This is Ravindra Kumar. Down the leg side and wide. It's a much better second ball. Just finding her radar. Bottom edge into the leg side. A little bit of a fumble in the field, but straight onto the hoof. So no harm done. Big swing and a miss. It's always nice to have goals in cricket, even when you're staring down the barrel. If you're a tail ender out there batting, you want to keep the side on the park for as long as possible, and if you're at the bowling side, defending a small target, once again, keep the batting team on the park for as long as possible, because it's exactly what they don't want to be. So the bowler getting a little hand on that one, knocking it back into the stumps, but Delgur had made her ground. So you might be curious, we've seen a couple of double bounces today that have been no-balled, and that one wasn't. That's because of where the second bounce took place, behind the popping crease. This one's been struck in the air, running around, and it's a very good catch. Something to celebrate for Norway. It was a very, very good reaching and tumbling catch. And I think she's been given the job now of doing up the keeper's shoelaces. So congratulations, there's your reward. So Anderson makes her way back to the pavilion. The warm applause of her teammates. Job well done. Nearly over the line here. And it is going to be Kumari to continue from the village end. Still 5 runs to get for Denmark. 6 wickets to get for Norway. Well, you know, there's 6 balls in the over. Come on, Kumari, set a world record. It's going to be Dalgur on strike. Thrown way, way up in the air. Swept out to mid-wicket, who does a nice bit of fielding, and they will get through for just a single. The new batter at the crease is Divya Goleka, the opening bowler for Denmark. Ooh, struck on the pad. An appeal from behind the stumps. Umpire's not interested. Little short, straight to square leg. Oh, there's a real mix-up with the running. Oh, dear, and it's... Oh! Now, once again, we've had some harem-scarum stuff between the between the wickets. So, the 2 batters ended up staring each other in the face in the middle of the pitch. A throw came in to the bowler's end. And unfortunately, Kumari couldn't collect the ball to whip the bails off. We then had a shy at the stumps, which was a direct hit, but the umpire decided that she'd made her ground. I can tell you from here that it looked very, very close. Now we've got another misfield in the outfield, and they will run through for 2, which means the scores are tied. It would be very appropriate for Dalgur to hit the winning runs. Thrown right up. She smacked that back to the bowler. She's called her through. They are running, and that is the game. They're gonna come back for 2 just to make sure. But I can tell you, there's no question. Denmark have won this one here in Kerava. And the umpire's signalling 1 short as well. Not that it matters, because the second run won't count. Oh, and we are going to say that scores are tied? No? We're just going to have to send that one upstairs and check the score, because the umpire has signalled 1 short, which means that the batter, while running between the wickets, did not ground her bat behind the line when crossing between the wickets, which means it would only count as a single rather than 2, but I'm pretty sure they only needed 1 to win and not 2, even though they ran 2. And are we all going to shake hands now, because we're certain that the score has been achieved? And yes, we are. Well, congratulations to Denmark. They have won this game by 6 wickets. Really, really good stuff from them. They are the team to beat in this tournament. So the teams shake hands. A good win for Denmark. Let's run down the card. So quite a bit of conversation. I think all the ground staff are ready to get on and put some covers on in between the innings here. This is a lot of chat about that. But in the meantime, let's run down that card. At the very top, we had the wicketkeeper come out and absolutely smack it around. Lenny Lena, she gave it an awful lot of heave-ho, but was then well caught. She went for 6. Her partner, on the other hand, carried a bat all through the innings. Nita Dalgur finished on 24, and if I had any say in man of the match, it would go to her. Katarina Brock-Nielsen was very well run out by Kumari. Sine Brunsgur, well, she was caught behind in strange circumstances, but nonetheless. Annie Anderson, she fell to a very good catch from Kanaratnam. And in the end, they knocked it off with more than 5 overs remaining. So a really, really good start to the tournament for Denmark. And there's your match summary. Norway put up 68 in the end. 39 of those were extras, something that Denmark will look to improve upon as they go forward in this tournament. Some really, really good bowling from Brunsgaard, Ostergaard and Andersen. And then with the bat, Dalgur made sure of it with a not out 24. In the other game, well, they were affected by rain, unlike us here at Käreva. Sweden, they finished their innings after 13 overs on 120 for 3, which was revised up with the Duckworth-Lewis system to 142, which Finland needed to chase in 13 overs, but after 9 overs are 50 for 2. So Sweden looking really, really good in that other game. As it is here, well, you can join us later today for more cricket in this tournament. There's certainly plenty of games over the next 3 days. 5 nations taking part: Finland, Norway, Sweden, Estonia and Denmark. And it looks like I'm being called away to hand someone a man of the match certificate. So you can join me back here later this afternoon for more cricket from Käreva. In the meantime, congratulations to Denmark, or feel free to switch over and watch the other game between Finland and Sweden. See you then.